just above the surface of the water and pushes down underneath here. So you can see all this here is bubbles of air. And this is very good and very healthy for the fish. If this process didn't happen out at sea, a lot of the seas would die. And the fish then take the water in through their mouth and pass it over their gills, and this is how they breathe. Also in here we've got sea bass. These guys are about 4 or 5 years old. We'll see some older ones in a few moments now. We also have some crabs in here. You can see just down the bottom right hand corner, there's a few more than that in there. These are swimming velvet crabs. They get their name is two of the back legs that turn into flattened paddles, and they use these to swim through the water. We do feeding them on chopped up mackerel and squid today. See here, these sea bass, they live all along our rocky shores here now. They don't mind this wave action at all. This also helps, stirs up the sand and the mud, stir up little crabs, worms and snails that they like to eat. So I'll just give them another bit now. You can see that the crabs collect any little bits that are left over. So we'll just head on over to our next tank over here. Aquarium, and has been here since the aquarium opened. Sea bass can live to be about 30 years old. Now it's actually illegal to fish and take sea bass from the wild, and any sea bass that you get in restaurants has all been banned. We have one other different fish in here, just a single one. It's a cod. He's just over on the left. He came out from underneath the rock here in the middle. You can see he's got he's kind of more browny colour with a strong white line running along his side. But we'll see more of the cod later on. So as I feed this tank, I'll just let you know that you might get splashed here. It's a bit quieter today. So if you want to turn around here, we'll feed our ray pool next. So this here is a ray pool, and as the name suggests, we have a few different species of ray in here. The rays are the flat fish here with a very long, slender tail. We've got 4 different species in here. Now rays are actually a member of the shark family. They're considered this because their skeleton is made out of cartilage, the same stuff our ears and nose are made out of, and this helps their skeleton to be very flexible. So if you can imagine, rays are just flattened out sharks. So we have 4 different species here. The one just kind of at the top of the water, the very dark one swimming towards me here, is an undulate ray, and it gets its name from the brown wavy lines on its back. The 2 then just in front of it, and these two here, these are Tormac rays, and they get the name from 3 rows of spines which run all along their back and onto their tail. This one just here in amongst the seaweed is a spotted ray. You can see he's got all the little black spots on its back. We also have a painted ray or a small-eyed ray, but I can't see where that is right now. It's kind of a creamy brown colour. No, not him. I'll point it out when it comes around. We do have kind of 2 or 3 other more conventional-looking types of shark. These 2 just here, these are spur dogs. And they get their name from small little poisonous spines on their dorsal fins. As they're swimming by there, you'll be able to see these. Now these are thought to be one of the most abundant types of sharks we had in the world at one stage, but because of overfishing, they're now critically endangered. It's believed that Galway Bay here is used as a nursery ground for pregnant females. Now, although they're still quite small, they're immature sharks, but they're still about 10 to 15 years old. It takes about 20 years for spur dogs to reach maturity, and they can live for over 70 years. Now, the other sharks we have, it might take a few minutes till we actually see these. They're bullhush sharks, probably hidden underneath the boat there, and we also have dogfish. We've got some baby ones which were born here in the aquarium, just in the pen down there. Now, the dogfish is the most common type of shark we have in Ireland, and like all sharks and rays, they have thousands of little teeth covering their skin called denticles. And these are all facing backwards. This kind of helps streamline their body, but if you're up towards the head, it's very rough, like sandpaper. And the likes of spur dogs, dogfish and bullhush, years ago their skin was used as sandpaper for sanding down the decks of boats. So as you can see here, the rays come up to the top of the water quite often, so you can give them a rub there. The only fish you can't rub are two spur dogs we have there. The other fish we have in this tank here are flatfish. These big round ones here are turbot. Now, flatfish aren't actually born flat, they're born like a normal fish with an eye on either side of their head. But after about 6 months, one eye will actually move from one side of its head to the other, and it'll begin to live in its side. Now, depending on the species of flatfish, this will actually determine which side of their head their eye moves to. So turbot here, their right eye moves to their left side, whereas the likes of plaice, which we have in some of our tanks, their left eye moves to the right side. So this is one of our bullhush sharks just coming out here now. So as I throw in the food, you'll notice that it's going to be the flatfish and the sea bass here that get the food first, because they use their eyesight to hunt. Whereas the rays and sharks, it'll take them a bit longer to find the food because they rely on their sense of smell. So you can see our bullhush sharks are actually quite lazy. A lot of the time they'll sleep during the day underneath the boat. Once the food comes in, they get very active. So our spur dogs, we actually have to feed them separately at night because they're still a bit shy. They're only new into the aquarium. They're only here about a month and a half. They're still a bit shy yet to go for the food themselves. So we feed them on mackerel, tied to a bit of fishing gut so none of the other fish can get it. So we're going to go on now and feed our ocean tank next, if you want to follow me.